Frontal Scholar at Questions Left Unanswered, and I'm the lead at the Transformation Initiative, and I'm also the thought leader at TSA, the Success Academy. Thank you so much for joining. Today, we'll be talking about a number of things that people do not pay attention to. I've been running through the series where I've been talking about how to be successful. So I'll run us through the introduction as I have many other persons join us in this live. One of the things that I want you to do at any point of watching this live is to leave me with your location and your name. I would really glad to have that. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for paying attention to your growth. One of the main reasons why I'm doing this is because I love to impact lives. I love to help people see the things that have been possible in my lives. I love to commit to people's growth, to people's lives, to people's change process, to people's transformation process. And that is why I'm a transformative coach. I love to help you with whatever you may be struggling with, whatever may not have been working in your life. I love to ensure that you're able to walk through it. Also, because I've been able to study behavioral psychology, human psychology, and I believe that my understanding of this is very useful to transforming people's lives, and I'm able to put this to work to help you redirect your life and put you on the course for success. So at the moment, what I do is to take one or two free sessions in a week, which obviously you can book for any of the sessions through any of my team members. You can DM any of our accounts. My team is always monitoring it. You can book a free session. But if you are looking to have a business consultation, maybe depends on what you need to get out of the business or the consultation, maybe free and maybe paid. Most of the time it is paid, and sometimes it may not be paid if what you need is just the basic frameworks that you're stuck with, that you do not understand and you don't know what to implement at the moment or at the time. I'm quite interested in helping you. Whichever way, you reach out to my team and we are going to help you in the best ways that we can. It is important that you know that you need people to help you so you don't get stuck. There are many things that you can achieve faster, easier. You can't get everything for free. And there are even the free ones that you can have. Let me give you this understanding of things. So there are softwares that we use, and there's a paid version and there's the free version. Many times, many of us want to use the free version, even though we know that there are some of the times that you need to pay for these things. You need to pay for a course, you need to pay for a class. For a class, you need to pay to attend a conference. But we want to just major on the free ones, and we hope to get the best things that will help us achieve the best out of life by the free things. While it may not be bad or be a bad thing to start with that thought that you don't really have so much to offer, and you're looking for the free things, you're looking to study things on YouTube, you don't have the money to pay for a coach or to pay a mentor to coach you. But as you grow, you need to begin to understand that you need to start paying money to achieve the things you want to achieve. You may not end up buying books. So there may be a time when your growth requires that you borrow books from your friends, and you can read and return it. But at some point, you need to start buying the books you need to read, because say you want to read on finances. You can't keep looking around until you find a book on finances, because you need to tailor what you read now to the things that will transform your life, which means that at some point in your life, you need to come to the fact or come to terms with the fact that you need to start committing your finances or some prices. You need to start paying some more prices, maybe financial as well. Many of the times, the things that you don't have, you can use your finances to get it. Many of the times, I've never said all of the time. And then you look at committing some of your finances to achieving the things that you need to achieve. And I believe that has given you a good ground to understand what I'm explaining here. So I started this series because I understand that many people don't know the basics to success, the things they need to learn, the things they need to know, the things they need to pay attention to really transform their lives. That was why we started this series. And then I've been running us through some of the things that I'll just go through briefly. We've talked about desire, we talked about change, we talked about responsibility, we talked about discipline. And I would love that you go back to the previous sessions and the previous lives to learn these things that I have communicated to you here. You really want to be successful, and it is not just by wishing it, by thinking it will happen, jump on you one day. You need to learn and know the things you need to do. Now, the interesting part is, know that when you're paying the price to be successful, when you're learning these pathways to success, there is the soft work you need to do, and there's the hard work that you need to do. Many times we talk about the hard work, even though we know in bits and pieces of the soft work. Part of the soft work are the things I've just run you through, and the ones that we are running through, and the basics to success. Because to be able to effectively put in the hard work, you need to be able to do the soft work. So it's like saying hard skills and soft skills. So you need to learn the to have the desire, you need to learn that you must change, or you have to change. You need to learn how to change. You need to learn how to take responsibility. You need to know that now you need to take responsibility for your life. You need to reduce every excuse and every other things that has to do with that. So these are the soft skills that you really need, so the soft characters that you really need to build a life of success. So many times we want to be successful like those 1 in 1,000 people who just appeared in success without doing anything, or it just happened to them. But you can't join many other the 999 people to just wish that one day it's going to happen to you like the one person. When you can take responsibility, you can use your brain, you can use your thoughts, you can use your willpower, you can use your understanding, you can learn, you can commit to growth to be able to drive the things that you need to bring out of your life. So I would say that, and I always teach it, and that is why I teach people how to be successful. You don't have to rely on wishful thoughts, hoping that one day it will happen to help your life, or to help your life to be successful. You need to take the responsibility and make it happen yourself. So thank you for joining. If you're joining, let me know where you're joining from. If you're joining on YouTube or Facebook, just put in the comment section your name and your location. I would love to have that. Thank you so much. Now, today we are majoring on a focal point that is called focus. While we talked about desire and what I ran you through, focus, many times people don't really understand what focus is. And I've also talked about how that many people have had many terminologies. You've had the word desire many times. You've had it now, you've had it before, you'll hear it again later, but you really don't know what it means. You really don't know for yourself. You know what it means when they talk about it, but you've not been able to sit down and look at your life, assess your life against these things, these words. And I give you some basic ones you need to look through. Now, I will not go outside of this success series. I will just run you through this. I want you to take an assessment yourself. I won't be there to monitor you. You need to do it yourself. So sit down, take a stock of your life by going through the word desire. Do I have desire? What are my desires? What do I desire? What do I really want? Do I even understand the word desire? When you take the time to really personalize it and analyze it, and probably write your answers down or really think it through. Usually, everybody, every life transformative coach will tell you there is power in writing things down. You have to write it down. But even if you don't, you have to do the assessment, desire. Go next to responsibility. Am I taking responsibility? How well am I doing it? Can I really do it more? Or am I not taking responsibility? Do I blame people? Do I major on excuses? A lot. Do I give excuses for some things and not and some other things, and not for some other things? You need to weigh yourself against it. You need to weigh yourself against change, the word change, comfort zone, and a lot more of these things that you can use to assess if you're really learning the things, or you're on track to success, to that you are well on track on this success journey. Sorry. So when you protect your attention, you protect your future. And that's why we'll be talking about focus today. When you protect your attention, you protect your future. And then what is focus? In a way, you can say it is an act of concentrating interest or activity on something. Pay attention to the word concentrating. Another way you can explain focus would be saying the center of interest or activity, which means that this is the focus. This is in the verb, you say, this is the focus. This is my center of interest, my center of desire, my center of attention. I have something here that I will put on the screen, which is uh, attention is a price you need to pay keen attention. I love to say that because attention is a price, which should mean that listening to me now, you should attempt to make this conversation we're having to be a center of interest and activity, which is focus. So you cannot build success when you have a scattered mind, when your mind is everywhere. You are thinking about friends, thinking about hundreds of other things. You are interested in football, interested in catering, interested in food, interested in movies, interested in, maybe I shouldn't use the word everything, because many times when we say everything, you say, oh, my mind is not in everything. But let me say that when your interest or your focus is scattered around more than three things, three. So if it is more than three, you need to come back. And primarily it should be one. Let's say, give or take two. Worst case scenario, three. Much more than that, there's high chance that your life is going to be muddled up, and the chance to have a successful life is going to be limited when you start having much more than two, three things that you're giving your attention to. Because when I'm talking about focus and I'm saying the center of interest or activity, means that this thing should be your main goal. This thing should be, which means that if I'm looking at this business is my main goal, you have to understand that what I'm trying to say, that I'm committing my center of interest to this business, means that every other thing that comes out of the business or goes into the business is taking my time and attention. Now, let me explain this to you, that many people do not feel. I explained to you about lack of time in the last session, which I want you to go through. And then I've released one of my books, which is Uncommon Trajectories. I will have a copy to show us in some of the lives soon. Or say next week, I will have some copies to show us. And because I have some copies of my books here. Uncommon Trajectories is a book I've written to showcase how you can break out from the common things that happen in your environment, common things that happens in your family. You know what they look like. You know that they are fairly better than the environment. How that the struggle, people say struggle is real. They identify with struggle, and how you just want to break away from that trajectory to map out a life that is extremely unique and extremely successful for you. That is uncommon trajectory. It is not common around you, not really seen in your family. So in the book, I talked more about how that people complain about the lack of time, but they don't understand that they feel in the place of using that time for the wrong things. I've been there as well when I felt like 24 hours is not enough. And some of those times you need to take pride in it foolishly or naively. Let me not use the word foolishly, because I can be quite straightforward, direct sometimes, which I know not it doesn't work with everybody. So we did it naively back in those days when we say, oh, 24 hours is not enough for me. And we say it to mean that I'm putting my life into the work, I'm being productive. But if you pay attention to it, it's not like 24 hours is not enough. It's maybe most of the times in my assessment of the hundreds of people that I've been able to have as my audience, coordinate and listen to, I've been able to see that most of the time it is because they fail in the place of using the time for the right things. Now, what is the psychology behind focus that we need to know? Because the moment we understand why I love psychology, I keep saying the reason why I love psychology is this. When you understand the reason why you do the things you do, how you do the things you do, why you get the result you get, and what the eventual result is. You be able, that's the place of self-awareness. You'll be able to know first what the problem is, what to change, how to change the situation, and how to bring about a different result. So when you know how to alter the process, but first you need to know what the process is. Now, when you know the process, and then you're able to, from that informed state, from that informed level, you're able to bring about a change that is different from the things you normally do. Then you begin to see the result that you would not normally have. So, what is the psychology behind focus? Every of the sessions we've been doing, I've always been putting in psychology to help you understand the things that you really would not understand on and on. So, your brain is not meant for multitasking. This is one of the truths that is helping people now. One of the new things that people get to understand, because as when I was growing up, I used to pride myself in being versatile. I could do a lot of things. I love tech, I love food, I love arts, I loved science, I loved many different. Maybe there were some things I didn't like I love music. Maybe I didn't really like mathematics, accounting, and things like that, but I loved many other things. And I was good at anything, any skill you enrolled me, I would do it extremely well, better than the average person. So I would take pride in it. I would say, oh, I'm versatile. And then as I seen the way my brain worked, and I would say, oh, my brain works really fast, I can multitask. So that was what we were sold then. That was the understanding that we had to explain why we were quite good and productive in some of the things that we were doing at the time. But growing up and seeing more of the science of it, we discovered that when you're able to do many things, it's not because you can multitask. No, it's not because your brain, let me say, a man can multitask in doing many things. You can do it together, but your brain does not multitask. Your brain only switches task quickly, very fast. The way that you, and then I'll get to it. I love to use a device like the PC, the RAM, and the ROM to explain well what and how the brain works, because I believe it really helps people to understand. That's if you understand what the RAM is, and RAM would be the processing capacity of the phone, and the ROM would be the processing storage, or the space that you would have the processing capacity work in. So your brain does not multitask, like do two things together. It only switches things, like it jumps from this to this, jumps from this back to this, or from this to another one to another one. So that is how the brain works. And when you understand this, that when you're switching from one task to another, it is burning the mental fuel. I watched and I read a documentary once, and I discovered from that science that the brain many times uses more nutrients than some other parts of the body. And then you say, oh, but the brain does not grow bigger. The head does not grow as big as the body and the fat and all. Yes, it may not, but in the consumption part of nutrients to function, when a man is doing too much with his brain consumes more. That's why you can find that some people, they can eat and then they are still growing lean. They are eating, but they are growing lean, because the brain is using more of the nutrients more than the other parts of the body. So when you switch from one task to another, you're switching, it is burning your mental fuel, and then you are not able to achieve what we are talking about here, which is focus. And remember, when I mentioned focus, it should be the center of attraction, the center of activity, the center of interest that you are paying, or you're giving your attention, your whatever it is that comes from you, your energy to. So when a man does not have focus, you are not able to have something at the center of your interest. You jump from many different things to another. So in a day, there's this science as well that I listen to one TED TEDx podcast that I followed up, and the scientist was talking about how that there's about 60 to 80,000 thoughts that runs through a man's mind in a day. That your brain is actively, or your mind, obviously picking information from your brain, is actively jumping from one information to another. And an average man, maybe some have less, but an average man has about would process over 60 to 80,000 thoughts in a day. And then you wonder, do I really do that? Do I not do that? If you pay attention to yourself, you understand the bits and the pieces. And then, I've done it many times to know that, wow, wow, wow. It's really interesting to know that I think about much more things than I'm aware of. I want you to know about consciousness. Go through the previous sessions that we've done. You'll be able to understand more about that. So your brain is not meant for multitasking. It just switches fast and tires quickly. And each switch that your brain jumps in and on burns mental fuel. And that's why unfocused people are always tired and unproductive. Every time they are tired, they tell you, I'm tired, I've been busy, because their mind is truly busy. But it is not effective. I used to have a time when people didn't have my time. And myself, I didn't really have all of my time, but because I was truly and honestly busy, but I was not productive. And there are many people, including my audience, I believe, in this situation where you are doing things, actively doing things from beginning to the end. But if you take a stock of your life and the things that you're doing, you will observe that you are not really getting the results that you would have wanted. And there's this Pareto principle, this 80-20 principle that says that 80% of your effort only brings 20% of the results. Only 80, he said all your effort, 80% of it will only bring all when you check your results, will bring 20% or is it 20% of your efforts brings 80% of your result or something like that. You should check, look up the Pareto principle. So focus is not forcing yourself to concentrate, because I talked about concentrating your interest. It is about training your attention, training your brain, training your mind to ignore the things that do not matter. So when I talked about your mind jumping from one task to another, and then you're looking at how can I achieve this? It is not you coming to, okay, what I want to do now is I want to concentrate on one thing. Like I don't want to go through a movie I watched recently. I love the drama. Very awesome how you can focus your attention on one thing and you don't allow any thoughts into your mind. But then it's not about training your mind to concentrate. I want to concentrate. Rather, it's about identifying first what are the things I do not want to do and then filtering them out. I love to say this. If you don't know what you should be doing, at least you should know what you should not be doing. If you know what you should be doing, you should know what you should not be doing. So it's more like having one to achieve the other. So you can train your attention to ignore the things that do not matter. It is more of a filtering skill. Not, it doesn't start with willpower. I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do this. No, it starts by first identifying the things that you should be doing. When you watch transformational coach and leaders talk about prioritization, tasking, task list, writing down the things that you will do, writing down the things that you will do in the next day, the day before, right? Having to know, put in your mind what you will do. It's more of filtering out the things you don't want and then knowing the things you want next, the things you want to do next. So it is first a matter of filtering through, picking out the things you would want to do and helping you to concentrate your attention on it. So it is first filtering and then you have the willpower come after. So I'll be running us through basically the enemies of focus, the things that do not really want you to focus. So when you have people struggle, they contact you and say, "Oh, I've been struggling with this. I wanted to achieve this. I wanted to do this. I wanted to do that. I really don't know how to focus. I always struggle. I want to leave my phone and just not touch it, but I really don't know when I've even spent the next 2 hours on it." I didn't even know when I picked the phone now, and I've spent another 4 hours on it. You have to understand that there are things. What I talked about the brain, the mind, and the wiring. I wouldn't want to go into that. You should watch the previous sessions. So there are things like your habits, the things you're used to, your hormonal wiring. So you should also know that as you have wired your mind, you have wired your body system. You've wired your the whole operations in your body. Now to alter it, you need to come to the place of self-awareness and being able to identify before you respond. You make the alteration there, and there comes the change that you've always wanted. So the enemies of focus. The first thing I have here, while there are a lot of them, the first thing I have here is digital noise. Digital noise. Okay, so I'm using my phone here. I have some. Okay, let me get this. Let me see if I can reach out to this phone. All right. So this is just one of my phones. Like, there's a lot of phones in this space. Actually, sorry. I need to give you this. I need to bring this out to show you. So I've done this a number of times for people and I love the results. So, and you should do it yourself now. If you drop your phone, just check how many times you hold your phone. Now when you drop your phone like this, and you're either speaking to people or talking to people, or you are in a meeting, or you are anywhere, try to be conscious or just be aware of how many times you pick the phone without. We want to start first with no notification. There is no notification. So I want you to check and be self to be aware of how many times you pick the phone, and you just check for notification. You go through, you unlock it, you unlock it, you look at the screen, you just scroll to the menu, you go back, you lock it, you drop it, and check for how long it will take you to pick the phone again, and just go through the same pattern without knowing that you were doing that. And the reason why you do that is because you pick your phone many times, so much so that your brain is conditioned to it, to even when there's no reason, you pick it and you just lock and unlock. There's no message, there's nothing, you go through. And that is why when you pick and you land yourself on reels on any platform, Facebook, YouTube Shorts, and anything, the moment you jump there, before you know it, you've scrolled two, three, four, five, six, because those things would call for it would open a tab on a part of your brain and start running information for you, because you have not conditioned yourself to know how to focus your focus your attention to the things that really matter, to the center of interest to you. Now, endless scrolling. There's digital noise. Endless scrolling replaces direction with distraction. So when you have direction, you know what you should be doing. You are filtered out the things you should not be doing, inclusive of your phone. So even though I'm a business person, I expect calls. I know how to pick calls. I know how to expect calls. I don't even expect everybody's calls. I know that my WhatsApp, if I don't expect clients on the WhatsApp, doesn't ring out. Or I have tones for specific groups, specific things. Obviously, you shouldn't even do so much. Don't split it too much. But you know that if you are organizing clients, there are the tones you have given to them to know that when they ring, you know to respond to it. But on the other hand, when there is no notification, you need to be aware that you do this thing, filter it out. I don't want to do it. I've also talked about, when we're talking about how to change, I talked about how that when you want to change, what to go for is not to change the thing that you really want to change directly. Is first to look for a replacement technology, or a replacing system, or a replacement activity to switch. And when you want to deal with this activity and you take it off your time grid, you are able to replace it with this new thing. So I don't want to be on my phone for the longest time. Then I will always go around with a book, and I'll pick a book instead to read. I don't, because, and I've said this, if you don't go through this process that I've mentioned, what you will what you will discover is you will pick your phone, and say that I don't want to be pressing my phone, and the next thing you will do is you will truly drop the phone, you will not press it, but you will not be on the phone, but you discover that your screen time on the TV will increase because what you have just done is you want to deal with the phone. You don't have a plan to, you don't have any activity to replace it with. You don't have any other thing to say you want to do with it. And that will make you what's the word now? There's this falling back into the same thing that you've said. Thank you so much. I'm seeing some comments. Thank you so much. It will make you fall back into the things that you've said you don't want to be doing. So endless scrolling would replace direction with distraction. You are always distracted. When I was still actively running, when I was the manager of our business in Nigeria, one of the things that I would not do is be on my phone all the time. Because I knew that the moment, obviously, when there's a phone call, I reply to it. It is an important text message, and that's why I'm not uh, quite good in replying text messages or even notifications because I prioritize the things that I should do on the phone. So another example is on my Instagram, which are the things that you can implement on my Instagram? There's a timer there. I've put a timer that when I use 1 hour, it should log me out or it should remind me that I've spent 1 hour because I do not want to take more than 1 hour. I do not want to take more than 1 hour on Instagram. So the moment I've spent 1 hour, it tells me, oh, you've spent 1 hour today. Obviously, whatever I'm doing on Instagram is self-development or productive. Either I'm trying to check our feed, our timeline, or on social media generally, or probably I'm trying to follow some of my mentors to just follow through. But when I have spent the time, I'm off the grid of that platform. And these are the things that you have to implement to help you focus. So now my phone, the way it works for me now might not work for you. My phone is always on vibration. I want to know when my phone is ringing. But there are times that my phone is on silence because I don't want any distraction. I need to focus on what I'm doing, achieve it, and then after then I can attend to notification. Also, for every day, I have a timeline to reply notifications. The moment I've spent more than that time or I've spent that time, I'm not actively replying to text messages, save only it is urgent or it's business call or it's business notification. We have an order, we need to dispatch in time and things like that. So you need to filter things through, know your priority, be responsible. Like I talked about, responsibility is your power, your ability to respond, and your power to make decisions and your choices. Because the moment you say no, you have had either taken the responsibility off your neck, but the moment you say yes, you have said, I am committed to this. This is on me. So, emotional clutter. When we talk about guilt, hunger, and the drama that occupies your brain space, that could you could use for growth. Some people so much think about they're hungry. The moment they see some things or some people, they are hungry and it runs a lot of thoughts in their brain. And I said I was going to explain how the brain works. You know, when you pick a phone like this is an old phone actually. This is an old phone, and this is Samsung S10. I will try to give us a breakdown that should be effective. I think this is eight. I think this is 8 gig RAM and 128 gig ROM. Now you should know that for this phone, there are some softwares that I can run simultaneously and it will not give me any problem because Samsung is a very awesome device. But there are some software, say I download some games of like 1.5 gig and I'm running five of it simultaneously. You have to know that it will start hanging at some point. Or maybe Samsung does not really even hang that fast, but it will start. You see, it gets hot. The battery is drained faster. Even if you are plugging it, it starts eating up as though you are using a metal plate or electric plate. It will start eating up. That should tell you that you are using it for much more. And the brain works like that. Your brain has the storage capacity and has the processing capacity, which is the ROM and the RAM. And also, you have to understand, depending on how well you have trained your brain to be able to function fast at things, effectively at things, that is the RAM it will run on. So if your brain is functioning like an 8 gig RAM device. And then there's anger somewhere as a tab that is opened in your brain. There's guilt that is open somewhere in your brain. There's social media open somewhere in your brain. There's a lot of things open somewhere in your brain. I hope you know those softwares. They don't, let me try and see if I can show you now. I just turned on this phone. Well, I just turned on this phone this afternoon. But you can see that even though I just turned on the phone, even though I just turned on the phone, there are softwares. Where is it again? There are softwares that have been open that have not really been closed. Now, if you take your phone, which is one of the assessments I do for people, you can take your phone, swipe up, and then scroll through, and you discover there are softwares you have opened for like 2-3 weeks. They have still been there. You say, "Ah, it doesn't really use so much of the RAM." Yes, it doesn't use so much, but it is using part of the RAM because it is there somewhere, somehow, trying to tell you, "I'm still here." It is not closed. So, the third one is another one that really brings people down. It makes a lot of people lack focus. I would say that for everyone who is committed to self-development and they tell you I lack focus, one of the things you can trace their lack of focus to is that they have too many goals. Too many goals. And that is why you find that for transformational leaders like us, the first thing we would recommend to you when you talk about, "Oh, I lack focus. Sometimes I want to do this. I'm jumping on that. Sometimes I want to do this." The first diagnosis that will run on you is how many goals you really have, how many things your mind is jumping on doing, how many things you think to achieve, how many things you are, how many things, there's this illusion of progress. Uh, there's this illusion of progress where you pick about five to, I talked about your main goals should not be more than three. You shouldn't say, "I have five careers. I'm a this, I'm a that. Even when you have in a career, the things you should be doing, like you also find this crumble many businesses. You find a boss. One boss is the PR. The same boss is the sales manager. The same boss is the accountant, auditing manager. The same boss is everywhere. And then you see why there's no focus. Scaling the business might be a bit difficult. There's burnout and a lot of that things. He doesn't have a social life or she doesn't have a social life. Many other things happening all together. And they do not achieve the goal. So the illusion of progress is that since since you're making a little bit of progress in one thing, you still keep at doing it. So even if now you are doing 5 or 6 things together at once, in your day you are doing about 6 things. So the moment you know that there's a little progress in each one or in majority of them, you keep doing the six. You don't know that you need to bring all of your strength and energy together to pour it on one thing or two things maximum. I don't advise you have 3 things. Maximum 3 things. And that's why you find people who are successful, they delegate. And they only oversee. They have an oversight. They are doing one and delegate the others to the team members or to the people running the business with them. And when I teach delegation, there's one of the problems that bosses who have not really been trained in being able to focus, one of the problems they have is they hire somebody to manage the auditing of the company. And even though they have hired somebody to be doing the job, they still join the person in doing the job. And they say, "Oh, I just can't do without it. When I do it myself, I feel more, I love it more when I'm sure that there are some people, I've met people, some of them who say, "Oh, I don't like people ironing my clothes for me. I love to do it myself." And I feel, so what happens when you have major priorities? You still want to iron it yourself. And when other people iron it, you don't feel the self-confidence is gone because you don't feel like it was ironed well. Now, if there's a problem you need to attend to, let's attend to the problem. If there are things you need to give up, let's attend to it. People ironing your clothes is not the problem. You have the problem. because it will dwindle your focus. It won't help you have a focus on the things that you should be doing. So, in actual sense, the illusion of progress is that you are making little or no progress, or seeming progress, ounces of progress in the things you're doing, but you are not aware that there are too many things you're doing, too many goals, too many tasks, too many responsibility. Now, I have my notepad. Obviously, every of my daily task, I synchronize it on my devices so that this is not my main phone. But if I'm on this phone, if I'm taking this phone out, my obviously you can do it across your devices. So long as you use the same Gmail and they have the same apps, you can use it on your devices. So wherever, wow. So wherever I am, I can see the things that I want to do in a day. And usually I don't have more than, for even a task or the task that I have to achieve in a day that is tailored towards my goals, my main goals, I don't have more than 6 or 7, and not major things that I need to do. So if I have to make a phone call, if I have to draft a business plan, if I have to edit something, if I need to have a meeting with the team, maximum. If I have to design some things or communicate with some people or try to research or to do some self-development, maximum 7 of the tasks that I need to do in one single day. And sometimes I don't even get to finish. I remember the last time I was on a call with somebody, and because I needed to get off the call, I had to go through my task list, my daily task list, and I saw that I was barely on 4 of 7, which obviously was a big win for me because the 4 were major tasks. The other 3 were just elementary and simple. So some of you, the things you want to do in a day is not organized. It's the I will do it tomorrow. You've been carrying over the some I will do it tomorrow from last week. You carried some I will do it tomorrow from last Monday. This Monday you carried 2 over. I'll do it tomorrow. And then today you are looking at what can I do. What you're just doing is you are cherry picking the things that are easy for you to do. And that's why I will also recommend for you. In order to be able to focus, you can read this book. Eat That Frog. I believe Eat That Frog was written by Brian Tracy. When I read the book, one of the things I learned from it is how that you need to do the hard things first, the hard ones first. I won't get into all of that, but you can do that yourself. Too many goals, and and it doesn't help you achieve the things that you should achieve on the norm. The third or the first I have here is reactive living. Starting every day responding to messages instead of setting intention. You it's things happen to you, you don't happen to things. And how do you explain that? See, when you have people who don't have what I want to achieve today, they are mostly reactive people. Reactive people, when things come, they do it. When things come, they do it. But there's no, this is what I want to achieve today. And what happens with that is, I always love to say that when you don't have what to do, things to do will always find their way. Unnecessary things to do will always find their way, even if it is watching a movie, assisting a friend in a way that you have not planned. It's like saving money. You don't have a plan for the money you are saving. Things will come and ask for the money. Either a friend needs it, sickness needs it, uh, anything needs it. Something will come and happen to the money when there's no goal attached to it. And how do you achieve this? There are basic things. Have a task list. Know what you should do tomorrow. Even if you watch a movie, have it there. Maybe in your rest. Have it. And the way I love to this is not to teach you how to prioritize and all of those things. So we'll do that in some other classes. But you need to understand that reactive living, that things happen to you before you act, is not a good way to live, and it cannot position you for success. Now, you've had people say, be audacious, do things, be proactive. One of the criteria for you being on our team is that you need to be proactive. I shouldn't be the one prompting you to do things. You shouldn't be the one sitting and waiting for things to happen. You need to be the one to be creative. Go for the knowledge. Don't wait for the knowledge to come to you. Speak to the boss. Don't wait for the boss to speak to you. Start the business. Don't wait for the business to come and start itself. Go for the knowledge for the business. Don't just wait that one day you will stumble on it. Start doing it now, not you will do it later, or something will happen that will make you know when you should start. When should you start? Prioritize it. I believe these are the things you need to understand now. How do you reclaim your focus? I have 5 things here as well. The first is set a daily priority, which is what I've spoken about in pieces. One win a day compounds faster than 15 attempts. One win a day compounds faster than 15 attempts. One win a day compounds faster than 15 attempts. I don't know if I can reiterate that enough. And I should still give you the framework. Before tomorrow, tomorrow is Saturday. What am I going to do tomorrow? So if you wake up by 7 or 9, and I love to say that for those who are employed or who are employed by employers, many times you are committed to your employer when it comes to the job you are paid to do. But when it comes to your own life, you are not committed to it. But you are committed to your employer. But your life, you do it anyhow. So you work 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. But that Saturday that is for you, you can use to build your life, self-develop. That is when you wake up 10 a.m. That is when you watch movies 2 hours. That's when you sit on social media 2 hours. That's when you remember you have to call 5 or 10 friends. That's when you remember every of the other things not culminating to your life. Now, am I saying you shouldn't watch movies? No, I'm saying watch movies by knowing that you by being self-aware that, oh, I'm watching movies at this time. Should I be watching movies? Now, the way it works with me with phone is the moment I take more than 5 minutes on pressing the phone, because I've conditioned myself, there's the automated check that I start saying, why am I pressing the phone? What is the aim? What's the direction? What am I doing on the phone? Am I doing this to self-develop, to reach out to a friend, to see people, to build my business, to not build my business? Am I doing this because I'm resting or I just want to scroll? It needs to be defined, because if it is not defined, it may not culminate to your eventual progress. The second is you create focus triggers. Like you have specific musics, you have a place. Let me tell you about this. Now, so focus triggers. As I'm doing this live, I have the TV in this space. It is on. Even if I'm committed to say I'm writing a business plan, my TV is always on. And the reason is because I learned that when my TV is not because I'm watching the movie, and that's why a single movie I can play it for 10 times because I'm not watching. I just need a sound around. Anything, any sound. Obviously, not too much distractive sound like something serious, just any sound. Because I know that if there's no sound and I'm alone, my mind wanders around too fast. He's thinking about many things, many ideas, and I love my mind to be present. So I need a sound, a distractive sound. That's why I don't study, I don't read books when it's too quiet. When I pray, I love background sounds. Maybe automated background sounds on my phone, anyway. I just love things. That's me knowing that there's a trigger. There are things to put in place. The second thing I have here is a place. When you create focus triggers, things to help you focus is every day I'm not working with my employer. Every day I don't have appointments, or every time I don't have, even when I have appointments, but every day I wake up from my bed, I do not sit in the room. Because I know that the moment I sit in the room, there's high chance that my body calculates that as we don't have anything to do. Or if I find it easy to postpone my task. So what happens is when I wake up in the morning, and I do say a Bible study here, a little prayer there, the things I need to do, I get up, I shower. Because when I shower, I understand that my body awakens to the day. And I ensure that the days that I know that I'm going to start my tasks early, I set my alarm to wake up. Obviously, you have your body clock. You know when you wake up, even if there's no alarm. You know the maximum time you wake up. Maybe exceptions of for when your body is extremely tired, you can have some little extensions. But when your body is not, there is a time you wake up, because I know that the remaining time I have is to build my life and my destiny. So I live there. I am in the living room. I'm in my workspace. I go out somewhere where I know I can be focused on the things I have to do with the timelines that I need to achieve, the things I need to achieve. When you don't do that, you may not be able to focus. So, or time that signals your brain it's lock in mode. There's a locking mode. So I have a lot of alarms on my phone and reminders. And it's easier because you can speak to your phone now and it sets the alarm and things like that. There are some I have the notes. I won't read them out. But there are some notes I've put there. They are triggers, focus triggers. Let me give you this example. Because I love to give examples. So there's one of my alarms, I won't tell you the time. It says when it rings, it's every 2 days I programmed the alarm. When it rings, it says pray now. And I think I have a text around that I can't remember now, but it's something like um, a lazy man does not pray and expects things to happen. That's a trigger because when I see that, I know that, oh, I should pray, even if it's muttering tongues. So create focus triggers, protect energy pockets. Now, many people are, you see, I've seen people, the moment they wake up, it is noise from beginning to the end. Their brain is just everywhere till the end. The time they have for their brain to rest, for them to think, they're on the phone. The moment they wake up, they check the phone, or whether or not it's the phone, they're speaking to their spouse or to their children. They get to work, speaking to clients, they leave work, they're in the bus or in the car, they are pressing phone, listening to music or listening to a movie. The brain is always working till they get back home at night, listen, watch reels. Obviously, I'm having to major on social media because it takes more time. It takes people's time the more. Or they're gisting with a friend on call with other friends and doing a lot of other things. Or cooking till they sleep, wake up the next day, they live the life on repeat. The next day, live the life on repeat. The next day, they keep living those kind of lives on repeat. If your life is like that, you are not helping yourself. You are not helping yourself at all. So you need to protect energy pockets. And what does that mean? Schedule silence. Times that you just need to be alone. Because your mind cannot focus when it's constantly simulating, constantly doing things. You can't focus. Schedule time. Use your phone. I wanted to say the name of my assistant device here. Use your phone, use your assistant. Schedule times. Use your hand yourself. Set the reminder. Don't make it too far. Make it today or maximum tomorrow, but make it today. Tonight, I'm going to make time for this. The number 4 thing here is say strategic no's. Many people don't understand that a no, no, is as powerful as a yes. A no is as powerful as a yes. If you say no and it makes people happy, or if you say yes and it makes you happy, oh, I've said yes, I want to help this person, I'm happy about it. You should be able to say no as well and it makes you happy. If you have not gotten to that stage, we'll have to walk through some of the things we've discussed. You have to follow the previous lives. A no should be as valid, should be as correct, should be as acceptable to you as a yes. Say it as much as you say yes. Strategic no's. I'm sorry, I can't help you, even if it is a good thing. And I've said once and again, I used to be the type who would give and give and give, but I learned that you need to start saying no, even if you have it sometimes. Not because you don't want to give it, but because you need to coordinate your savings. You need to coordinate this, your business this. You need to coordinate. You don't have to say yes to everything. Say strategic no's because every yes will divide you. Every yes will take a part of your brain. Every yes will take a part of your attention. And every no is what will help you regain your time back. And that problem I found with people who start learning to say no is when somebody comes to you and says, I need your help, and you say no, and the person goes ahead and achieve the same things without your help, you start feeling like, oh, maybe I should have helped eventually. But the question is, were you expecting him to fail because you said a no? No. Because saying no does not mean I'm expecting you to fail. If that I'm saying, oh, I'm sorry, I cannot help you, does not mean I'm so I should say that, was it 2 or 3 days ago? A phone call woke me up. I don't even know this person. I'm sorry, I need this help, I need that help. Obviously try to evoke your emotions. I'm sorry, I don't have this kind of privilege. I am a kind person, I always want to help. But at that point, I'm sorry, I can't help you. I'm sorry, I can't help you at this time. Thank you. Thank you. Obviously, I was even sleeping. I ended the phone call. But the question is, was I expecting that that person would not find someone else to help her? Or should I be expecting that the person should die of whatever situation they were in? No. So when you say no, you're not saying the person would not be able to achieve it or do it. Because another thing you have to understand is that some people you say no to, they say, oh, you think I won't be able to do it. But see, let's leave those people alone. It's not about them. We're talking about you now. It's your focus, not their focus. So every no defines you, helps you to sharpen your self-esteem, your to walk around your insecurities, and to be able to build yourself in the way that really works for your life and your destiny. The number 5 here is that you detach from noise. So I was doing a research on the noise to focus ratio, and you need to understand this. High achieving people, their noise to ratio, their noise to focus ratio is extremely, extremely excellent. I've had people like Elon Musk and these high achievers that we all mentioned. Their noise to focus ratio is like 99 to 1. 99 to 1. So their focus is 99, their noise is 1. Obviously, that may be extreme, actually. And the reason why I mentioned that is extreme is because those kind of people may start having issues with family. Because having 1%, because you have to understand when we talk about noise and focus is what you need to be doing, you need to concentrate your attention on. It doesn't include family. Your family, friends, and every other thing that should not be your center of interest falls in the noise. But it is now sad that there are people who have noise 90% and their focus is 10%. Now, what is the balance to it? The balance should be that your focus should be 80, the noise should be 20. And the 20% should be your family and those who truly matter in the immediate. The strategic, because obviously strategic relationships falls in the 80. If it is going to build you up, self-development, reaching out to people, being the helping your tenets and the ethics you have, some of them may fall in the 80. But the noise, the fun, the social media, the playing games, all of those things should fall in the 20. I started seeing the trend of people who are not successful, who intend to be successful, who, who claim they don't have enough time. They buy PS5, PS this, PS that, and they keep telling you, and they have time to play it, and they tell you they don't have time. And then you wonder, like, is this real? Are these people joking? They say they don't have time, but they stay on the social media for a long time. They say they don't have time. They stay awake till 12 p.m. before they sleep, doing nothing. Now, if what you are doing is like you're seeing a movie because you've used your brain for too many serious things, but you're seeing a movie now to ease off your brain, it's still acceptable. It's still normal for you to be able to declutter. But then you need to weigh your noise to focus ratio. Know Take it to do your time audit. Take a stock of the things you do, your priority list, your goals, the goals you set for the day, the tasks you have aimed to achieve. I have a task board here. I have things that are right there. I have it on my wall. I have it on my devices, on this PC, on my all my devices, I should say. You need to have that as well. So maturity is learning to let some things die quietly, because not everything deserves attention. There are people who complain about you who don't deserve attention, you don't have to answer to. And then, So, what I will need you to do from here and on is to take this mental alignment assessment. Mental alignment assessment, where you talk about your concentration morals or your moral center, and you ask yourself the hard questions that you would not normally ask yourself. Questions like, what really matters to me in this season, like now in my life? What exactly truly matters? Do my habits match my priorities? The things that I do, does it match the things I say I want to achieve? I was talking to one of my, I just recorded in the car when I talked about you have told us many times that you want to achieve a lot of things. You want to achieve a level of financial security that guarantees your children to not have to go through the things you've gone through. You are the same one putting all your money into a 2026 car because you just love that it is a modern car. You are the same person who sees people organize parties in a way that takes 50, 70, 80% of their savings, and then because you just love the way it works, you put yourself into it. You have to ask yourself, am I working, or I'm just busy? Am I really doing the things that I should be doing? Do I have direction? Do I have focus? Do I know what I should be doing? Because because many people are working, they're actively doing things, they are doing it. They wake up, they do things, and it's not a matter of laziness. It's just that they lack clarity of purpose. They lack clarity of the things they should be doing. They lack direction. They lack focus. Focus, a center of interest. They have too many things they're interested in, or nothing that they have interest in, and they just jump around. So, what I want you to do as a challenge, because I need you to know that when you guard your attention, what you do is you show that your lifetime really has value. And also because when you see distraction as a test that is asking you questions like, do you really know what you wanted? You know how that the devil came to Jesus and was asking Jesus, turn stone into bread, as though he didn't know. He said, are you the son of God? As though he didn't know he was the son of God. So when you see distractions as the things that appear to you or come to you to test you if you really know what you wanted, like you're seeing movies or you're pressing phone and it's asking you, I thought you said you know what you want. I thought you said you want to build your life. When you start seeing it like that, being focused would start becoming easy because you see it as a proof that you know what you want. And you cannot win you cannot win your distractions when you keep entertaining it. You give excuse for it. Oh, I just wanted to check a message. Oh, it's because it's my wife. I love to reply her messages. It's because I'm not saying use wisdom and interpret what I'm saying. I'm not saying you don't reply those who matter. I'm saying that when you start giving excuses, you know you're giving excuses. Obviously, you can't defeat what you keep making excuses for. You cannot. Now, what I need you to do as I round up this live, you should put your questions in the comment section, or I would love to have your comments actually. And thank you for joining. What I want you to do as the assessment, like I do in every of the live that I do, and I keep saying over and over, the reason why you have joined this live till this time is not so that you can feel good that you've joined live. I've seen people who go for self-developmental conferences. They are not consciously aware that they only think to mean that they have achieved what the conference was meant to achieve. It just runs like a simulation in their head. But you find that they don't actively do the things that the conferences have recommended them to do. But they now are informed. They are now informed, but they don't do it. They don't put in the work. So I want you to write it down and take this assessment. Do it now or after this live as we round up. So I've done these things. People who commit to self-development, they do it. And if you are still learning the basics of success, you should know that these are not big things to do. That that the they are the crumbs. You have not even gotten to the real work yet. And now, if you are not able to do these things, how are we going to guarantee that you commit to it when then you have the center of interest you need to focus on? And these are the bits and pieces of the prices you need to pay to become successful. So, what do I need you to do? I need you to write down three biggest distractions stealing your attention daily. Not 10, not 100. Three biggest, the top ones stealing your attention daily. And also write one thing that matters deeply. One thing that matters deeply, but rarely gets your attention. So, three things, the three biggest distractions, and one thing that really matters to you, to your life, to the things you want to achieve, but rarely you struggle to focus on it. Now, write it down. And then what you will do next, obviously, when you write it down, you should reflect on it. And when you write it down, I want you to give that one thing that you would want to achieve, but you really have time to achieve. Now, write it down and give that one thing your first hour every day. Because wherever your focus goes, your future will grow along in the same way. I remember that when I wanted to start reading actively, I was not able to study whenever I finished work for the day because I would. It was my business, so I would stay. I would still stay through the business till late, and then I'll pick a book to read, and I wasn't really assimilating well. And then I saw that I cannot be reading a self-developmental book when my brain is tired and what it needs is rest. It can't even do a heavy job. I can't even consult. People can't consult me at that time or have meetings with people at the time. What can I do? I have to take every morning, 1 hour every morning to study. Now, it depends on you. I'm not saying you have to use my framework. Obviously, you know that if you know that you wake up, you tidy up for your children and you do the things you need to do to get on the way to work, you need to set up the pattern and the framework that will help you achieve these things sustainably. So, what have I said? Write out three biggest distractions, not 10 distractions, that really take your attention daily, and then write out one thing that really matters deeply to you. That you know if you really commit your attention to, it will help your destiny to grow. You'll be proud of yourself, but you don't really do it. You really have your energy into it. Then from tomorrow is Saturday morning, give 1 hour to that thing. And like I said, where your focus goes, your future grows. Where your focus goes, your future grows. Now, while that is sorted out, I've written 5 books that are just there to transform your life. I'm currently writing one, and it is. I won't give you I won't give you a sneak peek into that. Now, this is one of the books that I have seen that reflects my journey that can transform your life, and it is how to find a mentor. Should I go into why you need a mentor? I won't get into why you need a mentor. But if you want your life to really go faster, better, avoid making some silly mistakes, you need to have mentors who have achieved these things and can help you achieve a walkthrough. You need mentors. And then how do you find them? Because one, not everybody can mentor you. Your mentors may not be around you because you may be around people like you. Usually, you're around people like you. How do you find them? How do you spot them? How do you know the ones that will not prey on you? How do you avoid the counterfeit? I have it here, including the step by step, not just why you need a mentor, including a step by step process. I have templates you can use to land the mentors that can transform your life. And this book is actively on Amazon. You can find it on Amazon. If you need a copy elsewhere, let me know. Leave it in, just put it in any DM on our Facebook, on any of our social handle. Put it in the DM or put it in the comment section here. We'll go through it, or anytime, anywhere. Anytime you're watching this, put in the comment section how to find a mentor, how to avoid wrong mentors, choose the right guide, and grow faster on purpose. While that is said, there's uncommon trajectories. I I came out of a very humble, extremely. So I've learned that you don't talk about your humble beginnings, but I will because I can relate with it, and I know that there are a lot of people still on that journey. I've written about on how to break through on common trajectory, how to break through from your environment, the things you're used to, the patterns reoccurring, the things everybody really play out without even knowing they're playing it out, the limitations of the mind occupying the minds of people, but you want to really do it, but you don't know. I've coached a lot of people in that regard, that your life can start speaking a new language different from the ones people understand. And obviously, what people say at the end is he was lucky. People still say, yeah, she was lucky. And I look, yes, you think it's luck. It's good you think it's luck, obviously. And I want you to keep thinking it's luck. But if you want to know how these things work, you should buy my book, Uncommon Trajectories. It's available on Amazon. You can have the hard copy or the Kindle version. You can have that. How to find a mentor on common trajectories. There's why no one believes you will succeed and how to prove them wrong. I know many people go through that as well. There's nobody around you who believes you. I follow the school of hard knocks, and one of the things you find that is common to most of his audience, most of the people he interviews, is that, oh, they say, if you ask, they say, no one believed me. No one believed in me. No one believed I could do it. And most of the time, it's usually people that you trust, people who you honor, people who you revere, or people you know. Why no one believes in you and how to prove them wrong. How to prove them wrong is also available on Amazon. I would love you to purchase that. It is purchasing for you to transform your life. And I trust that this has helped you. I would love that. At the moment, one of the adjustments we're making to those who love to consult me is, sorry, one of the adjustments we're making is to be more productive and effective. I'm taking 2 free consultations in a week. Now, if you reach out to my team and they tell you that we have the slots booked for the week already, you can be weighed against scheduling you fresh for the following week to see if we are going to have you. And if you want other consultations, obviously I still have more time, but to be more productive on the other resources that we're working on and the businesses we are growing, to be more productive, you can pay for the sessions and you just have to reach out to my team. But if not, you can wait for a free consultation. If it is not core business consultations, you can still have that for free. Thank you so much for joining my live. Thank you for those who have left comments in the comment section, the likes. Thank you so much for liking, and thank you for always joining. Obviously, this is for your transformation, not necessarily mine, as the case may be. This is for your transformation. I believe this has helped you. Thank